morning, everyone. First day in our new studio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I set up my what I'm going to paint. Let's see. I'll get the hammer. So today I'm going to do a 30 by 30, this one, 30 by 30, and I'm going to do a 40 by 40, and I still haven't got everything in place, but that's going to work out pretty soon. As soon as I've done a couple of videos, then I'll have everything in place. So I'm not sure if you can see me. Hello. So I'm getting the packaging off the canvases. And I'll show you what I do. So the canvases I have are pretty good quality, and they come with the little pegs, as you can see. And I'm going to put them in. I always do that, but not too tight. Just enough to stretch out that canvas so that I have a good bit to, when I pour, it doesn't sag in the middle. Now usually these little pegs, they don't fit in there right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video in a bit, and I'm going to make sure that they fit, because they're pretty thick, and when you put them in these little slots, sometimes they fit, like this one fits. There it is, but this one didn't fit. So what I do is I hammer that first little bit. I hammer it a little bit flat, and my dog doesn't like me doing that. She really doesn't. Whoops, see, it still doesn't fit. Usually I hammer it a little bit tighter. There it goes. So that's one. Then I do exactly the opposite one. And let's see if I can get that one in. No, that won't go in. This one, yep, this one goes in. There it is. This one will go in also. Well, you get the idea. Right now, as you can hear, it's pretty tight, and I still have 2 to go. I won't do that on the video because it makes a lot of noise, but you get the idea. So I put those in. Don't really hammer them in really tight, you know, just make sure that you get the drum sound. That's important, because then you know it's totally tight and it won't sag in the middle. So I'll be right back, and I'll give you a little impression of how I mix the paint. So I'll be right back. Okay, this is the mixing part. So what I have is white. I had some left in a bottle, and I cleaned it out, put it in. Now, what I like to do is when the jar is almost empty, I like to put some pouring medium, gloss medium, and a little bit of water in there. So a little bit of water, the pouring medium, a little bit of the gloss medium. Oops, it's stuck. Let's see if we can open it up. Yep, there it is. That's the gloss medium. Then I put on the cap, and I give it a little shake. So this white already has most of the ingredients that I use in it. And I'm gonna do some turquoise. That's the first color I'm gonna do. So what I do is put the paint in. This is the blue, phthalo blue, and the green, phthalo green. Oh no, this is deep turquoise. Uh-oh, almost messed it up. Here's the phthalo green. There it is. And this is almost at the end. A little bit of green. That's it. And then I come in with the titanium white. Oops, there's a little crusty thing there on there. You don't want that in your paint. Then I start to mix it to see if the color is what I really would like it to be. And this is pretty much the turquoise I was looking for, so that's okay. Make sure you get the sides and the bottom. Okay, now this is the color that I really like, so this is it. Then, of course, you see that this is not the way it should be. It's coming off in chunks. So then I add a little bit of water. And you still see that it's coming off in chunks. I'm gonna check in a bit if you can really see it. Okay, because I forgot to put in the pouring medium and the gloss medium in the phthalo colors, I'm adding it now. And as you can see, I'm not weighing anything, and I'm not, you know, calculating. I just do it by what I think is right, and it works, people. This is not rocket science. The whole thing is that you have to really you have to experiment, because I get a lot of questions about what did I do wrong, it didn't work, but I don't know what brand of paint you're using, so for me that's pretty difficult to determine where you went wrong. And every single paint brand will behave differently. Okay, you see how now it's coming off like honey? Still, I see a little bit of chunks, and if you still see chunks, that's a sign that your paint is still just a little bit too thick. And I see a chunk there, which I will take off right now. Don't know where that came from. I got chunks in here. I don't know where that came from. Maybe from using the last of that white. I'm a bit of a cheapskate. I shouldn't do that. I'm making sure the side is totally mixed in, the bottom. I still see chunky chunks, but I think that's in the paint. That's it. That's exactly the stream you want. You want it to stream off the stick. And let's see if yeah, you could see that. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'll do it up a little bit closer. See that? That's what you want. It has to, let's see if you can see that. Yes, you can. It has to stream off like honey. That's always what I say. It looks like honey, just one continuous stream, and that's when you know your paint is the good consistency. Now the chunky chunks that you see here are in the paint, so I might even put it through a sieve, because I don't like that on my paintings. And it's probably because I used the last what's in here. But that's about what I do. Let's do another color. This one I need. This is Prussian blue. And I'll show you, this one was mixed, so maybe it's a little bit difficult to see, but I'll give you an idea with one color. So I just put one in, put some color in here. That's about how much color is in. Then I do about 20 to 30% pouring medium, about 20% gloss medium, and then I stir it. And this really doesn't create that much bubbles, so it's okay to stir quickly, and by the time, yeah, you can see only a minimal little bit of bubbles, but not that much. And why it doesn't bubble that much is, I'm positive, because I've tried everything, but it's because of the Vallejo quality of mediums. It doesn't bubble as much as when I used the Liquitex pouring medium. I had a lot of bubbles. I always did. So now I'm going to start adding the water, because everything was smooth. Now this is a big amount of paint, because I'm making it for both paintings, the 30 by 30 and the 40 by 40. And as you can see, one big blob. So that's when you still come in with a little bit of water. And I like using one of these. I've told you a couple of times, because you can really dose the water that you want in there. You know, you have so much control over the amount you're going to spray in. If you do it with a little a can or a jar or whatever, you know, most of the time there's too much water coming out, and then you got it too thin, and then you have to add paint, and that's really a pain in the rear. You don't want to do that. Okay, let's see where we are now. As you can see, it's thinner, but there's blobs coming off, and that's not okay. And what I'm adding is really a tiny bit, not too much. And every time I add water, you need to really stir it, so it's one big smooth cup of paint that you have. And of course, I don't have to mention which brand I'm using. That's Winsor & Newton. For the colors, you can pull up a color chart on Google, and it's really easy, because Prussian blue, they only have one Prussian blue, so you know you're not going to go wrong. And the phthalo colors, phthalo green and blue, that's the same thing. They only have one, and that's the only colors I use to make turquoise. Like I said, let's see, where did I have that? I had a deep turquoise, but I don't like that color that much. It's just a little bit too much for me. Usually with the deep turquoise, I will add a little bit of titanium just to lighten it up. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's it. Now, I'm gonna stir it a little more. See that? It's just like honey, and that's what we want. That's exactly the, and let me really express my, I can't express it enough, that it is all about the thickness of the paint. You know, I have a lot of disappointed people saying, oh, I did this and I did that, and it's not working. I didn't get one single cell. It's impossible, really it is, because if you're using exactly the same ingredients I have, and you're not getting cells, it's up to one thing, and that's the thickness of the paint. This is it. See that? it streams off the stick. And as you can see here, there's a buildup. You can see that there's a nice layer of paint, but if I hold it up, it's just like honey. It should come off in one continuous stream, but it shouldn't be dripping, because if it drips, see up to here, there at this point, it'll come off in thick drips because that's the last of the stick. But you should never see really like drops. Drops are no good, because then your paint is way too thin. And if you put in the silicone, as we all know, the silicone repels water. So what it does is we pour it on the canvas, and then because we used the torch to heat the paint, not heat, but really just warm up the paint, the silicone rises to the surface and creates those cells. And the thing is that if your paint is too thin, before you get your torch, your silicone will be on top and there won't be any cells, maybe a couple, but not much. And not the same thing that you want when you see me do the torching. See, this is exactly how it should be. So that's two colors. I'm gonna get a little cloth here and clean up here a little bit. I'm gonna do the rest of my colors, and then I'm going to show you the pour. So thanks all for watching so far. I'll be back in a flash. Bye bye. Okay guys, I'm back again. I have all my paints mixed, and I will show you again the consistency. Here we go, that's it. That's how thin it should be. Other color. There we go. Now, what I have in here is the pouring medium. I have the gloss medium. And there is water in there. And there is dimethicone. But we aren't ready yet, because we still need a little bit of Floetrol, which I'll be getting right now. Oops. I have to fill up the bottle. Still have a little bit in here, I guess. Let's see. Oh, yep. Okay. And I know there are a lot of sorts of Floetrol, but this is the one I use, and I use it because it has the good thickness. So we shake it up, very important. I hope it's open. Let's see if it's open. Yeah, it is. So now I'm putting in a little bit of Floetrol in all colors. And I have 3 white, 1 has silicone, that's for the pouring, and I have 2 that have no silicone in them, because I use that for the background color. And what we really like is that it is a smooth white, and it doesn't have the dents of the silicone in it, because it's only one color. You will see a lot of dents if you put silicone in there. So mixing it all up, because the Floetrol does give you the really good dimensions of the cells. You know, it just does it a little bit better. I do put Floetrol in the background color just to help it flow a little bit better. Need one more little stick here. So that's that. And this one, as you can see, this is the one with the silicone in it. See that? Exactly how we want it. That is perfect. Now, this is what we have. Let me put that one down there. See, Floetrol. And what I usually like to add is a little bit of polymer medium. And I'll have to open up a new one. Or do I have one? Let's see. Nah, that's not the good one. So just a little bit of the polymer medium, and just do it by like this, just a little bit, putting it in every single one that I'm going to use. And it just helps, you know, to put some more binders in the paint. There it is, exactly how we want it. So all the paint is ready, and in a bit I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to set up my my table there, and I'm going to do the first pour. First I'm going to get the two canvases I did this week, and I'll show you exactly what I have planned, what I have in my head, what I'm going to pour. This is going to take a long time to upload, because when you, let's see, yeah, that's good. When you have to stick all these videos together, it takes so long to upload. But we'll get through it, don't worry. And of course, this is a good, good video to see everything from start to finish. So it might be a really long video, but I'm sure you don't care. So I got it all set up. This is it, no more. I won't be adding anything else to this paint. This is exactly how I'm going to pour it. So a little recap. Pouring medium, 20 to 30%. Gloss medium, about 20%. Then you add water to get the good consistency. Then I add the dimethicone. Then I come in with a little bit of Floetrol and a little bit of polymer medium. And then we have what I call the best consistency pouring recipe that I have come up with as of today. So that's what we're gonna pour in a bit. So I'll see you in the next video. I'll be right back. Hi everyone, here I am, all set up. Only thing is I can't see my iPad, so I can't really show you an up close thing. I'm trying to get you up close, but that won't work. So I think I need something to stand on so I can see my iPad. Let's see. Oh no, oh yeah, there it goes. Okay, so this is the updated sponsor list. Let me see if I can get you in focus. There you go. Uh-oh, we got flickering again. Don't really like that. Let's see. Nah, it's because of all the white. But this is the updated list as of this morning. So thank you all for sponsoring me. Let me put it back down. There you go. Then it's a little bit better. Okay, I'll put this away and that'll stop the flickering, as you can see. Now, what I was gonna do is I'm gonna try to do this one again, only a little bit bigger. And I think when someone buys this, they would hang them up like this, because see how that matches there? This goes right there. Nice motion in it. So I would hang it up like that, give it a little space, of course. But I would really, I think this would look great. And let me see if I can hold it up that you can really see up close. There you go. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Let's see, yeah, there, that's really sharp. And this one, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm putting these aside. Don't want to get them all covered in paint. And I forgot to put the push pins in. Uh-oh. Okay, I'll just have to stop this for a bit. Well, I was gonna do it on the monitor. Can't stop the video on the monitor. Okay, I'll be back in a flash. Okay, we're back. And I have everything here with what I need. I'm gonna put on some new gloves, but I have everything here. I have my pellet knife. I have a big brush to do a swipe if I need to. I have my little torch. So that's what you want, one of those torches. For the people living in Holland, I buy it at Blokker, $8.95. And the filling, the can of gas is €1, €1.25 sometimes. And I have a brush because I might want to swipe this, so I'm going to swipe it with the back of my brush. Then I have a little palette knife to do the sides if needed. And I have all my paint set up here. So we're really ready to go. I did forget my little cups. So little cups, big cups. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do. Now, what I'd like to do is try to get my paint under the white. So we're gonna make, I think I'll do 2 little cups. So what I want in here is absolutely some of that beautiful Prussian blue. Then another blue on top of that. Then I'm going to take my white, which has silicone in it, put some of that in there. Then I'm going to come in with the nice green stuff, a little bit of the turquoise, and a lot of the darker turquoise. That's it. Now, when I flip it, you can do 2 things. You can either, if you're quick, you can just put it on top. If you're not that quick, you put your good side down and you turn it around. Now, as I'm showing the back, this is going to be video 428. As you can see here, I put some tape on because I've had a lot of questions about people asking me, what do you do with the back side of the painting? Usually I do nothing because I think, you know, it's art, and on the back you can really see that someone has been working on the canvas. I think it's artsy. I think it goes with an original painting, so I don't bother too much. But I know there are a lot of people out there that do bother about all the what happens on the back. So what I did this time is just put, as you can see, put tape over it. I cut out a little slit where I have the push pins in. So this, the wood will be very much covered, I guess. So we'll see what happens. I'll show you after it's dried and I remove the tape. I'll show that to you also. But right now we're going to do this. So I'm going to get my little cup. I'm going to put it like that. I think that is easier. If you're not really certain how quick you can flip it, I'd just do it like this. Now, this is the white I have without the silicone. So this is going to be the base color. And I'm pouring it around the cup, as you can see, all around it. One big blob of paint. Now, what you can do is, or you lift it gently and move it like this, and there will be paint coming out, but you have to move it very slowly. And the more you move it, the more of the suction it will release the paint. And you can already see all the cells popping up, but I want some more white back here. So we're going to move it again. There we go. And then you can really let it go all over the canvas. And you don't want too much of the color dropping off, so that's why I'm adding a little bit more. and slowly tilting. And we're not going to worry about paint going on the table because I'm going to clean that off later. As long as it's wet, you won't have any problem whatsoever to clean off this paint. Now it's running really slowly, as you can see, but you just have to have patience. Just let it do its thing. And because this is pretty much a background, you don't want to worry too much about what's happening to the paint. Now, when it goes too slow, what you can do is add a little bit more and just let it run down. And if it doesn't move fast enough for you, which sometimes happens, you can also tap it on the table. Now, letting it come down here. And that's when the palette knife comes in handy, because I can just scoop it up here, put it on, see that? And just let it flow down. That's it. Now, I really don't like the tape underneath the painting because it sticks to my gloves, but it's on there, so we have to work with it. Now, I'm going to see that we get some nice little cells. Here they come. Now, there are a lot of cells, but as you can see, this is a really pretty piece in the middle here, but for the thing I had in mind, I think it's just too busy for a background. Now, if this happens to you and you think, okay, this is way too busy, all you have to do is put on a little bit more white, like this. Just pour over it, don't be afraid. And then you just swipe it. Now, you have to do this pretty much controlled because you don't want to push all the paint off. Now, if you skip some pieces, in this technique, it won't be a problem at all. There's no problem skipping little bits of it. Now I'm going to come back in with my torch. Now we're getting some beautiful cells. And remember, this is still the background. And to be honest, guys, I'm trying to muck it up as much as I can because I know that this is what you're going to be going through, and you're going to be maybe second guessing yourself like, oh, I did it wrong, it didn't work. But right now, I'm going to just let it do its thing a little bit, because there's still enough paint on the canvas to get it moving. And as you can see, here is something really beautiful happening. Over here, beautiful stuff happening. Just the white line isn't appealing, so I'll be pouring a ribbon over it. This is doing its thing. It's gorgeous. So what I'm gonna do now is get the cup, a little cup, and I'm going to mix for the ribbons. Now for ribbons, because this is nice and light, we want some really a little bit darker colors. So I'm going with the darker turquoise, and I'm going with the Prussian blue, with the green I always make. This is permanent green with a little bit of, oops, that's no silicone in there. This is a permanent green with a little bit of yellow, just to make it a little bit prettier. And then I'm going to put some more turquoise in, and I'm going to finish it off with a lot of that blue because it gives such a definition to the cells. A little bit of this blue, and we're ready. Now this time I am going to stir it just a little bit because we're not going to really be moving it too much. We're only going to move it to broaden the ribbons. Now I'm going to pull it down. Now before I do this, I'm going to see which parts of this canvas don't appeal to me. So this I don't like, this top bit here. Let's see, get it all in. This bit here I don't really like. This is beautiful, so I want to keep that. And this is beautiful, I want to keep it. Here are some beautiful cells, I want to keep it. So you're just going over your own painting thinking, okay, what is the most appealing part of this painting? Now this I don't like. This bit here I'm not too fond of, this side. So that's what I'm going to be pouring over. So I'm going to come up here, pour straight down that white line that I didn't like. Then I'm going to come, let's see, didn't like this bit here. So I'm going to pour it right down here. And I'm going to do one across, a small one. And I'm going to finish this one off here. Make it a little wider. That's it. Now, all we're going to do is really swirl it around and watch out what we're doing, and then that's it. That's all we're going to do. Then we're going to come back in with the torch. And we're going to make sure that we get all the cells that we want on the ribbons. And do it quickly, don't burn the paint, just warm it up. And I did forget one part that I didn't like, that's this part here. So let me see if I got, oops, got some more of that. Now, if you don't have enough, of course you have a lot of paint on your table, so you can just scoop it up, put it in the cup, and come back in. Because this was just one last bit that I didn't like, so I'm gonna help it down a little bit. There we go. And we have to watch out that those other ribbons don't get too smushed up. And I'm going over it one more time just to, you know, make those little bubbles disappear. That's that. And I'm missing a little bit here. Let it come down. Because we want all the corners really covered well. You can do this with a palette knife. And if you got really, really small spots that aren't really covered, I'd prefer to do that with my finger. Just scoop up a little paint. Make sure you match the color that you're going for here. That's important. That's it. Okay. Now I'm looking if I really like everything I see. I don't have my little sticks here. What you can do, if you're still not satisfied, is get one of those pointy little sticks. I'm sure I have them down here somewhere. Oh yeah, I can see them. Okay. Now, with a toothpick, just a toothpick, if you don't like what you've done, and I really do, so I'm hesitant in using this, but you could just pull some parts of it like this. See, maybe this is nice because there was this was too solid. There was too much of the same color there, so I'm pulling it through there. And as you can see, it does let the paint, it does let you play with the paint, but it also closes up pretty fast. so you won't see that you've been in it with a stick at all. Now I'm gonna get you guys down, taking off the gloves, but I'm just not sure how I'm gonna do this. Let's see. I'm gonna slide the iPad from the back side there, and I gotta be careful that I don't get get my cord in the paint. Now, as you can see up here, see how all those cells sort of, I don't know, they just swirl and do their thing, and this is really appealing to me. I really like what they do. Up there, that's beautiful. Up here was the part where I really loved it, there. Can you see the swirls and a lot of the cells are just, you know, swooping down and drooping all over the place, and it just, you know, it's something different. It's not the usual pour that we do. See how this here, it sort of, you know, all gets together. Up here you see that big blob of ribbon I put on top of it. That really selled really well. And all together, it's just, I really like it. Let me put you up here. There we go. A little bit crooked, but I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do this in the future. Let's see. There you go. Back in focus. Now, that's it. This is what I like. I'm going to leave it like this. And even if you're at this part of your painting and it really, really doesn't appeal to you, and don't be too judgmental on yourself, because sometimes, you know, when you have something in your head and you do this and it's a little bit different than what you think you were going to achieve, it puts you off. And then you don't like to, you don't really think it's, I'm just checking if I'm not in slow motion. Then you sort of think, it's not what I wanted, but please don't be too hard on yourself. Sometimes it's just has to be like that. But if by this time, when you've done all this and you still don't like it and you really think, I don't want it like this, what you can do is you just swipe it back down, because it will still sell. If I were to swipe this and I came in with my torch, it would still give me all the cells, and then it would be a little bit darker, but you could still put a new ribbon on top. So just to say that you don't want to give up. You don't need to give up, because you can go along with this paint for a pretty 2-3 times swiping will do. All you have to remember is that every time you swipe, all those paints are going to be pushed together, and they will give you a little less definition in the colors. The contrast will go because you're putting all the paints together. And every time you swipe, it'll become a little bit more darker and more one sort of a color. But you can still do it, because if I were to swipe this and came back in with the Prussian blue and a little white and a little bit of turquoise, I'm sure you would get another beautiful painting. So don't give up, but don't be too hard on yourself, because I know a lot of people are. I'm sure that when this dries, it's going to be a spectacular piece. When I've done varnishing it, it's going to be beautiful. It already has so many beautiful parts in it. Like up here, I love this bit here. It's beautiful. Then the ribbon that is on here, it is so full of beautiful cells. It's amazing. So don't be too hard on yourself. That's the lesson I want to give you today. So I'm going to put this up on YouTube, and it might take a while because I got to stick all these videos together. But I want to thank you all for sticking with me because the last couple of weeks I haven't put up that many videos because of the move and a lot of things that had to go on down here in the studio. A lot of cleaning up upstairs, which I'm not through yet. I still have a couple of days to go upstairs. But when that's done, I'll give you a video of upstairs. And I want to thank everyone for sticking with me and supporting my channel. I love you, really, really love you all to pieces. Liebe euch alle. And that's it, guys. So thanks, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.